In love, the self disappears. Only he remains. This is Neo's journey, a journey of love, a journey of seeing the unseen, of dying before death, of reaching the real. In the world of the Matrix, time is not linear. Everything feels as if it has already happened, yet at the same time, as if it is still to come. Dreams, repetitions, déjà vu moments, signs arriving from the future. All of these point to time's deeper mystery. Remember how, when there was a glitch in the system, déjà vu occurred? A cat passes twice, a phrase is repeated, and this repetition signals that the system is breaking down. Ibn Arabi teaches that time is not just a river flowing forward. It circles back, repeats itself, and sometimes bends inward rather than outward. Those who misunderstand time think everything is trapped in the past. But Ibn Arabi says, in every moment there is a new creation, and each moment is but another face of the same instant. In the Matrix, we see this most clearly in how time changes when perception changes. For Neo, time first feels like painful waiting, but then it shifts into awareness. The same event, lived with a different consciousness, becomes something entirely new. Ibn Arabi's words shine here. What is written for you depends on who you are when it arrives. The same destiny takes on a different echo in different souls. Time is not just a calendar, it is a state of consciousness. That is why the bending of time in the Matrix is really a reflection of how the world itself changes when human awareness changes. And what about reincarnation? In the Matrix, Neo dies more than once. Each time he is reborn, but with deeper awareness, greater clarity. This reflects the cycle of Fana and Baka, annihilation of the self, followed by subsistence in truth. For Ibn Arabi, dying before death, the dissolution of the ego, is necessary if one is to truly come alive. He who does not die before dying can never live. Neo's repeated rebirths show this death and birth cycle. But pay attention, this is not the reincarnation of a body, but the transformation of consciousness. Ibn Arabi says, you are the same person, yet at every moment you are another. And this transformation unfolds in the shadow of death, the softening of the heart, the surrender of the self, and the turning toward the divine. That is the essence of the journey. Morpheus, in this sense, is the Murshid, the guide. He is one who has already awakened to truth and carries the duty of helping others awaken. But his role is not to wake Neo directly. His task is to help Neo awaken himself, just as a true spiritual guide does. Ibn Arabi describes the role of a Murshid like this. A guide does not tell you what you will become. A guide reminds you of your own truth. They help you lift the veil between yourself and yourself. But the walking, that is yours to do. And Morpheus never explains everything to Neo. He leaves signs, points to the path, but it is Neo who must walk it. This is the foundation of Sufism. No one else can save you. Only you can find yourself. So how does this walk unfold? In the Matrix, one of the first lessons Neo learns is this: you can only bend the rules once you understand them. In other words, you must first comprehend the system before you can transcend it. Ibn Arabi says the same of truth. The seeker begins with knowledge, because knowledge is the lamp that lights the darkness. But book knowledge alone is never enough. That knowledge must descend into the heart, transforming into lived reality. He teaches, knowledge without love is blind, and love without knowledge is dead. Neo does not just learn, he lives what he learns, through pain, through fear, through loneliness. Because real knowledge is painful, yet that pain purifies. According to Ibn Arabi, every new truth strips away another layer of the self, and each layer shed is like a small death. But every death is also the herald of rebirth. That is exactly what happens to Neo. He loses his old self again and again. With each battle, with each wound, with each struggle, he becomes more truly himself. This is what Ibn Arabi calls fana, the annihilation of the ego. The self dissolves, and only the real remains. Without this state of fana, there is no reaching baka, enduring in truth, existing in union with the divine. By the film's end, Neo is no longer merely a savior figure. He becomes one who has forgotten himself, existing only for truth. And when Trinity says, "I believed you couldn't be dead because I love you," it is not simply a romantic line, it is an expression of Tawheed, unity. Because love surpasses even death. Love is the only fire capable of consuming the ego completely. Ibn Arabi says, love leaves no veil between the servant and Allah. The system in the Matrix is really just a reflection of this illusion. Everything looks so real, yet nothing is truly real. And maybe in your own life, you felt traces of this same system. You wake up, go to work, talk, laugh, even cry, yet the emptiness inside never fills. Because what can fill that emptiness does not come from the system at all. According to Ibn Arabi, the nourishment of the heart comes not from the world, but from the divine. Until you find that nourishment, you can pretend to be full for a lifetime, yet always remain incomplete. So how is this system maintained? In the Matrix, we see Agent Smith. He is the guardian of the system. His mission is to protect its continuity. He attacks anyone who questions, who awakens, who dares to step out, because his role is to put people back to sleep, to bind them again to the program. In Ibn Arabi's view, this figure perfectly represents the nafs, the ego. The nafs constantly works to keep you locked in its patterns. It whispers, don't change, don't question, don't abandon your habits, don't take a new path, don't leave your comfort, because it knows, once you turn toward truth, you will never return. Agent Smith's hatred for Neo is really the same resentment the ego feels toward the awakened self, just as Satan's fury was directed at Adam. Ibn Arabi says, when a human perceives truth, the resistance of the ego begins. For the ego refuses to vanish. It cannot bear the light of truth. That is why the Matrix is not only a technological dystopia, but also a mirror of humanity's deepest inner battle. The war between ego and spirit, illusion and truth. And in that war, you cannot walk alone. This is where two crucial figures appear, Trinity and Morpheus. Trinity symbolizes divine love. She is the one who awakens Neo's heart, who makes him believe in his own strength, who never leaves him alone on the path of truth. And Ibn Arabi teaches that love is the greatest doorway to awakening, for love tears the veil, shatters habit, and destroys pride at its roots. Ibn Arabi says, love is the clearest manifestation of the divine. Once it falls into a servant's heart, that servant can never be the same again. So Neo's bond with Trinity is not just a romantic subplot, it is the symbol of a doorway opening into truth. Just like a self that clings too tightly to the world and shuts its heart off from truth. According to Ibn Arabi, many people who live in this world are awake in appearance, but asleep within. Their eyes are open, but their hearts are blind. Because what we call truth is not seen with the eyes, it is seen with the heart's inner vision. In the Matrix, Neo's first awakening is actually a passage from the fleeting to the eternal. It is the moment he begins to search for what lasts beyond what perishes. Ibn Arabi calls this great rupture intiqal, the transition. The servant begins with an admission, "This world is not enough for me." Then they start to listen to the voice behind that sense of insufficiency. And that voice is not the ego, it is the heart. From that moment, the servant steps into another realm, a layer of truth much like the hidden dimension of the Matrix. Everything is different there. The rules shift, time flows differently, perception expands, and a person begins to lose their old self. Ibn Arabi calls this Sayr-u-Suluk, the inner journey, the soul's walk from the self toward the divine. And at every station of this path, one more veil is lifted. Neo faced these veils too. He feared them. He wanted to run, because truth is rarely comfortable, and behind comfort often lies falsehood. Ibn Arabi says, "The world is a decorated mirror, but in it you only watch yourself. So go beyond the mirror and seek the hand that holds it." This is a profound invitation, because that hand is not your own. That hand is the very essence of truth, the one who holds everything behind every form. By the end of the Matrix, Neo is no longer just a savior. He has become a mirror carrying truth, guiding others because he has first found his own way. Ibn Arabi says, "Every servant carries one of Allah's names, and through that name they are both veiled and unveiled." Even Neo's name whispers this secret. Neo, the One, the symbol of unity, oneness, reality. For the casual viewer at the start of the journey, this looks like mere coincidence. But to those who see with the heart, the Matrix reads like a modern commentary on Ibn Arabi's wisdom. Because no matter which age you live in, you are tracing the same truth. You are searching for the unseen behind the seen, the depth beneath the surface, the essence beneath the shell. And this search can reach you through a film, a phrase, a prostration, or a solitude. But never forget, everything exists to bring you back to yourself. In the Matrix, the machines have taken over the world. They turn humans into sources of energy while keeping them trapped inside an illusion. The human is bound by the body but enslaved in spirit, thinking they are free while they are not. Ibn Arabi explains the same. Human beings build a world with their imagination. They believe in what does not exist and forget what truly does. That is why he says, "Delusion is the greatest veil." A human mistakes the reality they construct in the mind for the real itself. But that reality is nothing more than a shell. And if you cannot see the essence within that shell, you are no different from a prisoner locked inside a dungeon. The world you think is real may be nothing but a reflection, but you've clung to that reflection so tightly that you forgot the original. You drank not the water, but its shadow. And while trying to be satisfied with that shadow, something was always missing. What shook you most when you watched The Matrix? Was it that a single pill shattered your entire reality? Or that everything you thought was real turned out to be a dream? Yet Ibn Arabi said 8 centuries ago, "You think you are awake, but you are actually asleep." Truth depends on your awakening, because truth is not somewhere outside, it is within you, and you can only see it when you wake up. When Neo, the main character of The Matrix, began to question reality, he didn't even know who he was yet. The name, the identity, the job, the career the system gave him, these were all just a shell. What was inside that shell? According to Ibn Arabi, when a person asks, "Who am I?" that first shell cracks and the search begins. This search is not a hunt for information, it is a journey of being. Ibn Arabi says, "Being is like an image in a mirror." Whatever you see, you are in fact seeing yourself. What you call the world is a form shown to you. But behind that form is a truth, and that truth is seen not with the eyes, but with the heart. In that famous scene from The Matrix, Neo is offered 2 pills, the red pill and the blue pill. The blue pill is choosing the ready-made life the system gives you. You don't question. You continue. You remain. But the red pill is the awakening itself, the collapse of everything and the birth of truth. According to Ibn Arabi, this too is a tajalli, Allah unveiling a servant's own reality to them. One veil lifts, another descends, and the servant slowly begins to witness their true origin. That's why The Matrix is not just a film, it's a metaphor for truth. Morpheus says to Neo, "Do you know what real is? If you can feel it, smell it, taste it, then it's real." But what if all of that is only your brain's perception? What if reality is something else? Ibn Arabi says, everything you perceive is real for you. But that does not mean it is the absolute truth, because you are limited to your own perception, and within the boundaries of that perception, whatever is there is what you take to be real. So let's ask, what is your reality? What is shown to you, or what you sense within? In the Matrix, what we call the system is a program that keeps people asleep, and people are not disturbed by this sleep, because it is painless, because it is easy, because it is familiar. That's why in the Matrix, every repetition is really a doorway to awakening. But there's still a problem. In that world, everyone is waiting for a savior. They tell Neo, you are the chosen one. Everyone watches what he will do, but few take their own journey. This is a dangerous threshold, because the path to truth cannot be handed over to someone else. Waiting for a Messiah makes a person forget the power already within. Ibn Arabi explains it like this: what is within you cannot be given to you by another. Until you return to yourself, no one can save you. This is also Morpheus's greatest test. He believes in Neo but never worships him. He only reminds, only points the way. But the one who must walk is still Neo. And this mirrors one of the deepest principles of Sufism. The guide is only a mirror. The journey always belongs to the seeker. Whatever happens along the way is part of your inner unfolding. By the end of the Matrix, Neo no longer stands as a hero, but as one who has dissolved into nothingness. He no longer tries to control the system, no longer wages war against it, no longer seeks to reshape it. He simply sees, and in seeing, transformation happens. For Ibn Arabi, this is the station of Baqa, enduring in the divine. The self has dissolved, the servant has found himself in the truth, and now he sees, speaks, and moves with the truth. He says, when the servant is annihilated, it is Allah who sees through his eyes. It is Allah who speaks through his tongue. It is Allah who grasps through his hand. By the film's end, Neo no longer grasps with his own hand, but with the hand of reality itself, because he has surrendered, because he has stepped out of selfhood. And it is this surrender that gives him his greatest power. The movie ends here, but the real story begins now, because the Matrix is not only to be watched, it is to be lived. Every day, every moment, there is a matrix in your own life. A system working to keep you asleep. And within that system, you must begin your inner journey. Ibn Arabi says, you were not enslaved from the outside. You wove your own chains with your own illusions. But every chain can be broken with awareness. So ask yourself, what is your chain today? Is it your habits, your fears, the worry of losing what you love? Those moments where you silence yourself just to keep someone's affection? That is your matrix. And Neo, he represents a side within you, the side that trembles but still takes the step, the side that dares to look beyond the system and, in the end, returns to itself. For Ibn Arabi, truth is never outside, it is always inside. The more you run from yourself, the more deeply you become bound to the system. So the final question is this: can you truly wake up in this life? Ibn Arabi answers, if you awaken now, the world collapses, and for the first time, you will see reality. In the Matrix, those who awaken face a new life. Painful, harsh, dark, yet real. And for Ibn Arabi, the same is true. The journey first burns, then purifies, and finally, in the most unexpected place, confronts you with your own self.